part of it. It's the corner of the building, remember that? And you know, Terry said, we'll just throw it over the bank. Yeah. And then you go, no, remember, you know.
I just have a few announcements to make. The board had considered having a presence at the September Fest, which is happening on the 21st of this month. But I'm getting old and tired, and I don't think I can drag stuff down for display. And so unless someone wants to volunteer to come to my house and help me put this display together and then drag it down and sit with it, I think we'll pass on the September Fest. However, we are definitely going to have a presence at the Old Timers Barbecue. Lori, who is there at the table, has volunteered to kind of ramrod that, and I have several display boards on Ezra Hamilton, and we thought we would take those in our big banner and our books to sell and just talk to people. It's a real, it's a fun time. A lot of the people are from Lancaster Palmdale, but we like to have this end of the valley have a presence also. And that is October the 13th. Our October meeting, I don't have to really talk to you about because we have a lovely sign telling about our October meeting. We're going to be out at Willow Springs in the amusement hall out there. At least that's what we've cleared so far. And it's going to be an ice cream social. And we kind of thought we'd do the ice cream first so we could let it get a little bit darker, since it's a little more difficult to make that room dark. And then I have a presentation on Ezra Hamilton that I gave some years ago, but I don't know if you guys are like me. I forget over the years. So it's been, you know, I think 2018 or 19 was when I gave that presentation. And so I'm going to kind of revisit that presentation. I'll wait till our newest arrivals get settled. Great, good for you, because we do need more members. And so Shar has been out rounding up people, which is appreciated. Talk to your friends and neighbors and see if they're interested. Okay, as soon as we get Sandy in.
Yeah.
Matt said he thought we don't need to turn the lights out any more than they're already down. So if you in the back have difficulty seeing, just let us know. Obviously, the air conditioning is still being a little persnickety. Oh, you want to turn them out after I'm finished? Okay, I'm getting directions from our audio-visual person here. I will turn them out. If there's too much light coming in with the doors, we'll have to maybe just close them halfway. I don't want to close them all the way because that's the source of our air conditioning. Okay, well, I think we are ready for the program, and I will tell you a little bit about this. We got this video footage thanks to Terry Burton. He and Dr. Markowitz and Dr. Markowitz's father worked a mining claim up on the north side of Soledad, northwest side of Soledad?
It'd be on the east side, northeast.
Northeast side of Soledad, okay. And they did a fabulous job of documenting the whole hard rock mining process. I mean, I thought that possibly you could actually see the gold in the rock. Well, I guess if you're well trained you can, but the rock we have out here is flour gold. It's not like the nuggets that you find up in Sonoma and up the way. So my idea was you could actually see chunks. You can't see big chunks in our rock. It's a powder, almost microscopic powder, bound with other chemicals. And it's, you know, they call it hard rock mining because you have to chip away at it, break it up, get it out of the mine and treat it with chemicals, and then you get the gold. And this video is fabulous about giving us a little bit of information about the process. I was interested in the difference between single jacking and double jacking, and you will see that in the video. So without further ado, Mac, are you ready? Okay, he is ready.
The largest production of gold and silver in the Mojave Mining District was here on Soledad Mountain. In fact, from the many mines on Soledad, over $11 million in gold and silver was produced in the short span of 9 years. This was at a time when gold was $35 an ounce and silver less than $1. Many abandoned mines exist on Soledad, and with skill and perseverance, some of these mines can be quite profitable at today's gold price. Today we're going to take you to the Intention Claim, an active mine which has yielded high-grade gold ore this past year. You'll visit with real miners and experience day-to-day activities. As you can see, the mountain is very steep and rocky. Before this road was built, the miners had to walk up the slope, carrying their tools with them. The labor-intense effort could only be justified if the ore was rich, very rich. Small underground mining has been replaced by large-scale open-pit mining. The open-pit operation can process thousands of tons of very low-grade ore every day and make a small profit for every ton. The sheer volume of earth moved requires tremendous investment in equipment. One of the large mining companies built this road to the Intention Claim with the intent of developing an open-pit mine. Due to economic decisions after the road was built, they decided against the project. In 1992, we were able to secure a lease from the owners and with great effort put this mine back into production. Let's go closer and take a tour. I am David Markiewicz. I'm the leasee of this claim, and with the help of my father Lewis and Terry Burton, our independent mining contractor, we operate this mine at quite a profit. My father is also our blacksmith. He sharpens the tools and other implements that we use in the mine. And Terry is our assayer. He determines how much gold and silver is present in our ore. The ore that we mine is a quartz material. It contains sufficient quantities of gold and silver, but yet we don't know how much per ton until it is actually analyzed by Terry in his laboratory. Terry, can the gold and silver in this rock be seen?
No, it can't. It's too fine. It's like flour, and you have to concentrate it by panning before you see it.
And the mother lode gold was very large nugget formation, wasn't it?
It had a longer time to grow.
The crystals of the gold. And so the average person who might come up onto mountains like this looking for quartz that might have gold and silver would be hard pressed to see the gold in this rock, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you sure would.
Can we see any in our rock with the use of magnifying glasses?
Sometimes, if you get it broke on the right seam and just get lucky and get the right plane, then you might be able to see something.
How much gold and silver did our ore have in it that we shipped to the smelter this last trip?
It was 5.41 and 84 ounces of silver.
So the gold values were sufficiently high enough to start a good profit this last time. And that was about $2,000 a ton. So for every pound of rock that we took out that was ore, it was worth about $1, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
How about that? That's pretty good. In a little while, what we're going to do is to take some rock and we'll crush some up. And then we'll be able to show what the gold will look like in the pan. Before we go in, let's turn on the electric lights. Don't forget your hard hat. Timbers are used wherever the ground needs support. Also, timbering creates platforms from which work can be done. Equipment can be lowered or rock raised from the depths of a shaft. Come on down the tunnel with me and let's go see the mine. The 8x8 timbers provide protection for the workers below. They support the roof and the walls of the cavern. They make it possible for miners to climb down a ladder to the work site. And they support the hoisting equipment used to lower tools and raise the ore, bucket by bucket, to this haulage level. From here, ore is transported out of the mine by wheelbarrow to a dump truck. Many years ago, the method of breaking rock to drive a tunnel or sink a shaft was to hold a piece of drill steel in one hand and a hammer in the other, and hit the drill steel with the hammer, and rotate the steel 1/4 turn after each blow, and repeat that process over and over again until the hole was 14 to 20 inches deep. A single miner drilling was called single jacking. Sometimes 2 men at a time would work. One would hold the steel and turn it, while the other would swing the sledgehammer. This was usually faster, but for obvious reasons could be quite dangerous to the man holding the steel. Single and double jacking methods were done without the use of water to wet the rock, so a lot of dust was created. The miners who used this typical drilling technique had health problems from the dust. This led to the invention of pneumatic hammers. That is, air-driven hammers, which used water to constantly wet the rock while it was being drilled. The speed, ease, safety, and health considerations were improved dramatically. We're going to drill a typical round of holes to lower our shaft 3 more feet, and you'll be able to see what is involved. Currently, the shaft is about 23 feet deep. Now that the holes have been drilled, we're loading them with explosives, which will break the ground sufficiently so that it can be shoveled, hauled up by the hoist, and wheeled out of the mine. We've drilled 9 holes today. That 9 should afford us to deepen our shaft between 3 and 4 more feet. This shaft will extend vertically down another 15 feet. Then we will begin drifting horizontally both east and west, removing ore as we go. The fuses are being ignited. Within about 3 minutes, the charges will explode. Underground gold mining is a process of drilling, blasting, removing broken rock, timbering, and then drilling and blasting again. After we have accumulated 25 tons of ore, we have it processed and then receive payment. From this safe location, we can hear a couple of the explosions. And now we'll have to wait about 24 hours for the poisonous gases to dissipate. The explosions have broken free many large chunks of ore. The electric winch can bring up over 200 pounds of rock in each bucket. We can see Terry Burton loading ore into the bucket at the bottom of the shaft, and soon I'll bring the bucket up and take the ore to the dump truck. Watch how this system works. Either way. see you outside. The dump truck holds about 5 tons when full. We have about 2 tons in it now, and it'll take a couple more weeks to fill it. Come on inside the mine again, and let me show you the vein of gold and silver ore. The quartz vein in this mine is about 3 feet wide. However, the valuable quartz, which has sufficient gold and silver mineralization, is measured in inches. The ore, which is the richest, is very black. The black coloring of the rock is due to silver sulfide called argentite. The gold is in a nearly pure form only once in a while. Usually it is bound with the silver in a complex molecule called electrum. It's very difficult to know how much gold is present in the ore just by looking at a rock. So we crush the rock, wash it in a pan, and allow the heavy metals to settle to the bottom of the pan. Terry is crushing a sample now. Soon, you'll see the results. The process of panning gives only an approximate analysis of gold and silver values, and of course, costs nothing to perform. An accurate fire assay, which gives a quantitative analysis of gold and silver values per ton of ore, costs $15 or more, and repeated assays of many weeks of mining becomes very expensive. We measure how much gold we see in the pan after panning a rock. This becomes a standard measurement. Then we perform a fire assay of the same rock. Subsequent pannings can be measured for visible gold and the values compared against the standard measurement. If the tail of gold is shorter by 1/2, then the amount of gold per ton may be 1/2 as much. If the tail of gold is 3 times greater than the standard, then the amount may be 3 times as much per ton. With practice, panning becomes very easy. Try it sometime, and you'll realize how much technique is involved. Look in the pan. The free gold is in a long tail. This would equal more than 10 ounces per ton, or $2 for every pound of ore. This kind of gold ore is extremely rare. We're very fortunate to have this so close to home. 5 dump trucks full of ore would equal 1 shipment of approximately 25 tons. We shipped the ore by truck and trailer to the Phelps Dodge smelter in Playas, New Mexico, about 800 miles away, at a very substantial cost. Fortunately, the richness of the ore makes it all worthwhile. We will continue this mining venture as long as the ore values remain high. Small underground mining is becoming a lost art. I have the opportunity to work with my father Lewis and Terry Burton. The excitement of high-grade gold ore, the camaraderie of my fellow miners, and the paycheck make working here on the Intention Claim a real treat. We hope that you've enjoyed your tour here on the Soledad Mountain. And remember, the gold coins, gold jewelry, and gold dental crowns may very well be Mojave Desert gold. Maybe now you can appreciate gold mining from our perspective.
We are, of course, lucky that we have one of the participants in this film with us. So Terry, I'm going to spend a little time talking to you about your history of mining. If you would like to come up and join me. Are we both on? Are you live? Talking to your mic. Okay. Everybody here? Okay. Oh, the light. Is that better?
Yeah. Got a question here, but I'll go there.
Okay. Okay. Terry, of course, grew up in Roseman, and you told me when we were talking that you think you did your first mining when you were in the 8th or 9th grade.
Yeah,
Talk to the top there.
yeah, eighth grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade, up in the Panamint Mountains. We had an old cowboy friend of the family's that he would stay up there and prospect for us, and then whenever I had vacations out of school, then Dad would drop me off up there and I'd stay with him and prospect up there.
Then when you got out of high school, you enlisted and you were in the service for a while. So you got back into mining in
About 78.
about 1978.
That's when the price of gold, somewhere in there, the price of gold shot way up, and so everybody was opening up old mines and looking around.
And you said that you and your dad Cecil and Cliff Burton did some mining out in Baker.
We looked for some claims out there. Yeah, we didn't mine because we staked a bunch of claims and then found out that somebody on their paperwork was putting the wrong, it wasn't the wrong section, I think it was the wrong township on their paper. That's why we thought it was open. And then we got a letter from the lawyer saying they did have it, and we better not go back there.
Okay, then you came back and you did mining on the west side of Soledad?
Yeah, that was Mrs. Knight's property. And
This is Mrs. Knight, as in Governor Knight's wife.
And so, yeah, that was me, Dad, and Bill Stryker. We mined that for about a year and a half and built a mill. And so that's where we started.
I think maybe some of the profit in mining is not just the mining, but it's also in the milling, because you can actually mill for other people. Isn't that correct? Isn't that how Tropico really got a lot of...
Custom ore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when Edco...
They milled for other people.
Yeah, and so when Edco had that, got the lease on Tropico in '84, and we rebuilt it, and then he was taking custom ore. And so...
Okay, I know you've just done a lot in the area, not just around here. But on Soledad itself, which of course, does everyone know where Soledad is? It's the big mountain that they're tearing down, and they're tearing the whole north side down. That's the open pit process, and dumping the stuff they don't want over on this side. Anyway, it's the one right in my yard, yeah. That's the one right up here. There were many mines up there. And you have done some exploration drilling on the Yellow Dog, although it was on the other side of Silver Queen.
What's that?
The Yellow Dog?
The Yellow Dog was on the north side of, Silver Queen Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a lot of really neat equipment that you brought. to show what it's really like. And before I let all of you start asking Terry any questions, I'd like to have him talk a little bit about some of the equipment that he brought. The box over there, Terry.
Yeah.
Mac, is he out of range now?
Is that right?
Not anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is a original dynamite box, and they packed dynamite in there in sawdust, and then I got one that's older than this. It's got a picture of an eagle on it, or no, actually it's an Indian head, and it's a lot older than this one. And then this is just hand steel, drill steel, like Dave was showing. And carbide lights, carbide hats, and then more modern lights. Different types of drill bits. Fool's gold.
This is what a lot of people think you find when you look for gold, but this is not. This is iron pyrite.
Yeah. And
Can you pick it up and hold it? Yeah.
Yeah, can you show the items, Terry, so that we can see them on the video as you're going through?
You mean show 'em?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the card, your buddies.
Yeah. The drill bits.
Yeah, this is a knockoff bit. When the threads wear out on the drill steel, then they cut it off and they put a taper on it, and then you use these knock-on bits. And so these here are the original steel bits, and they wear out real quick in quartz. And so they eventually went to carbide, and they last for a long time. This is from the Panamints. It's a lead ore. It's got just a little bit of silver in it.
Yeah, you should come and feel it. It's
Yeah.
extremely heavy.
Yeah, it's got some weight. But, and this is one of the books that Markowitz had written, and it's real informative.
And then he has a scrapbook with some of his memorabilia. So
Yeah, and then this is my photo album of a lot of different mining I did outside the ground, some drilling and underground. And so you all can come up and look at it. So
What's the term custom ore?
I can't hear you.
Custom ore, what was that?
Terry, walk back here because you're still on. The question was,
You used the term custom ore.
you used the term custom ore. Explain that term.
Taking custom ore, it's just other people bringing their ore in, and the chopper would process it for them. That's custom ore.
It's
Custom
Not-
work here.
not processing what you've dug, but what someone brings in and pays you to process. And
Yeah.
I know Tropico made money doing that because a lot of
Right.
the activity up there was the operation of the mill. When they stopped actually mining, they still ran the mill. Any other questions?
Well, one thing, some people don't realize that iron pyrite is magnetic too, where gold isn't magnetic. So a magnet will attach itself to iron pyrite, but it won't attach itself to gold.
I don't know if you all heard Ray said the iron pyrite that he has up here would respond to a magnet, whereas the others would not. Any other questions of Terry? Okay.
I don't want to be ignorant, but I don't understand what you do. What is that?
Milling? That's
Talk into your mic.
Oh, That's where you're taking the rock that's got gold or silver in it, and you're crushing it down to a powder, real fine. And then there's two different ways of processing it. You can cyanide it, and get the gold out of it, or if you're on your own, you build your own mill, then it's a flotation, or not a flotation, a gravity flow process, where you have a gold table with ripples in it, and those ripples catch the gold. But you only get about a 76% recovery doing it that way. And the cyanide gets all of it. But
Yeah.
then you flux it and melt it.
So do you know how much gold is an ounce now?
Now, it's 2,000.
You're talking to your mic.
Oh,
2,500.
is it?
$2,500 an ounce.
Yeah. When we was mining, it was about $400.
So can we go up and get some more?
Good luck. Oh.
Siobhan, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had never heard that once they blasted, they needed to allow the shaft to clear because of toxins
Yeah.
in the air. What kind of toxins would there be?
The toxic gas, probably carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, from the explosion of the powder.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, you gotta let that clear out.
I mean, it was an incredible amount of work back in the day before they started the open pit mining. I mean, it's, you know, when I was reading about Ezra Hamilton, and that's when I first heard the term single jacking. You know, he's out there all by himself with his hammer and his little chisel, and he's chipping away at the rock, and it's just an incredible amount of work for, you're not sure you're going to get much of a return.
That powder's got a lot of nitroglycerin in it, and basically that's what they give you for your heart. And one time I was handling it without gloves on, and I got a little piece on my hand, and I was able to
Mike?
clean out everything out of the shop, the hoses and all that, loaded up my truck, and I got home. By the time I got home, I had such a hell of a headache, I had to lay down. It just hurt so bad. You know.
Yeah, you're handling explosive powder or explosive material.
Yeah. No.
So,
Okay, Barbara.
so you said that when you were in middle school, that you went up,
Yeah.
and I just wondered, with the rest of the kids that you associated with, was there anything about gold fever that they wanted to go up and get gold too?
And the 64 yearbook was a freshman.
Uh-huh.
And back then they'd write little stuff about the kids, you know, funny stuff. And I think Judy had something to do with this. But they wrote about me that I went to the Petrified Forest, I think it was, and I found one of the greatest gold mines in the West, and they'd probably never see me again. So.
Any other questions in the back? Jerry.
Are there any of these small mining places left since that big outfit came in and started moving everything?
Are there any small mining places left since the...
Yeah, but finding some place to take your ore is the hard part. Plas, New Mexico closed down. It was a copper smelter, and we've contacted a lot of copper mining outfits in Arizona, and they won't take any ore. So you've almost got to do it yourself. And so your recovery is back down to 76% recovery then. But there's one gal up in Panamint, she's still mining. And then And then we've looked at about 3 different claims. So there still is a little bit.
I meant specifically at Soledad.
Soledad is all tied up by Golden Queen Mining Company.
That's what I was wondering, but there's enough, all these shafts you see sticking out, they all belong to that big outfit.
Yeah, they've got the whole mountain tied up.
And then one other question, you showed that you crushed the ore, and you panned it, and you saw the gold, but how do you tell how much silver is in the ore?
Yeah, it don't show up as good as the gold does. But the value ain't as good either.
Don't you have to heat it and somehow process it?
Assay it.
Assay it? Yeah.
Gold was 400 an ounce, and silver, what do you say, was basically a couple of bucks an ounce. What we was mining up there, we had enough silver that actually it would equal another ounce of gold, if it was. And so, yeah, you didn't really worry about the silver. You just looked at the gold.
Okay, another question, Joe?
Did you ever have a close call with danger?
Did you ever have a close call with danger?
Yes.
We want to know.
She wants to know.
We want to know.
Tell her the details.
The Fraser mine. We were digging out a already caved-in mine, which you don't do. So we ran from cave-ins a lot. And then the Governor Gage was the same thing. Governor Gage mine, opening up old cave mines, and we ran from a lot of cave-ins there too. So.
The Governor Gage was in Acton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at Acton Mine. Any other questions?
Terry, when Dave Markiewicz, when you guys were mining and you sent the ore over there, was Tropico mining or milling at that time?
No.
Oh, okay. I just wondered.
Yeah, that was,
Before?
it was after.
Oh, okay.
The Tropico, we got it finally closed down in '94, and then it was about '94 when we started working up Miner's Drain.
Our mining history is just incredible. Millions and millions and millions of dollars have been taken from this valley. And I just did not know a lot about the process until I watched this video and talked to Terry. So I think this has been really enlightening, and I want to give you all time to come up and look and talk to Terry. So if there are no more questions, I will remind you next month out at Willow Springs, which actually was built as a result of the mining efforts on Tropico. We hope to see you there, and please come and look at what Terry has. And thank you to Terry.